Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Pranam. Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances and Dandavat Pranam to all of you. I welcome you to the early morning short Bhagavatam class organized by ISKCON Radha Govinda Temple, Kulai, Mangaluru. And I indeed invite you for and on behalf of His Grace, Sri Namanista Das Prabhuji. We shall begin with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanushalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudhvata Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagar Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Swagar Lalita Vishakhan Vitansya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namomstute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanuste Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhya Pasindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrudha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudire
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye.
Shodatam Swagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana
Shrivatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana
Hradayanta Stoya Bhadrani Vidunoti Surastatam
Hridayantastho
Bhadrani
Bhadrani
Vidurati Suhritsatam
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत
नित्यं
सेवया
भागवतसेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी
भगवति उत्तमश्लोके
उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति
भक्ति
नैष्टिकी
भवति भवति
Okay. You have to bear with me for a couple of minutes. Seems I have messed a little bit.
Can't hear you, Prabhu.
Yeah, I made a little mess. I'm just coming out of it. Just give me a minute. Should be all right. Okay, right. Can you hear me now? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, seems I'm losing things. Okay. Today is the sixth canto, second chapter, 24th and 25th verse. Can you see the screen, the whole screen?
No, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Only
yes, Prabhuji. We see the
Yes,
screen.
Prabhuji.
See the whole screen.
Not whole.
No, not whole. It's a zoomed one, Prabhuji.
Now you see the whole screen?
No,
Yeah.
no.
No, not only that Sanskrit one, not complete English.
Now? No?
Yeah. 3 lines are coming in English, Prabhuji.
One line over.
No, I don't know how to do this. Okay. View full. Very good. What do you see now?
The
Only two,
zoomed one. Yeah.
Sorry?
only two lines Sanskrit.
You see only 2 lines of Sanskrit.
Only two lines.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
Prabhuji, you are on laptop.
Yes.
Prabhuji, there's a like control and minus button. If you press together, it might. So,
Control and minus. CTR.
minus.
No, let me see. I'm not. Now the full screen has gone, right?
Only 2 lines of Sanskrit is coming. That only that upper one is clear. Lower one is like now it's complete.
Is it full
English
now?
one is like only 3 lines are coming, Prabhuji.
Only 3 lines.
Now I think you can scroll little bit down, Prabhuji.
Yeah, the problem is different. I actually
No, again it has gone.
messed around. See the main screen. Now can you see the whole one? No?
Only Sanskrit one, Prabhuji.
Only Sanskrit you see, right? That's true. Okay. Unfortunately, this is all I could offer today. Or else I can join again. That's the only way out I know.
No, I think the Prabhuji, co-host can share the screen, no, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Okay, go ahead. Do that.
Yes, co-host can share the screen.
Yeah.
Any
I will share, Prabhuji, if you want, I can. Yeah, I can share it. You can just,
you are a co-host, Mataji.
yes,
Madhumai Mataji, you are a
yes.
co-host there.
I'll share
You can
from
share.
my, yeah, I will share from
Laptop.
my this thing, laptop. Now you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji,
Yeah.
6th chapter. Second, yes.
Yeah. 24, 25.
Okay, Prabhuji, I'll share.
That's a long way.
12, 13, 14, 15, 22, 23, 24, 25. Next.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Yes. You
Now,
can scroll.
Mataji, you will have to call the shots. So call each participants one by one.
Okay,
And let
Prabhuji.
them decide. I won't be able to do that from here.
Okay,
I think maybe I can do that. Just wait.
You can.
Yeah. Okay. Madhubai Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranams Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Ajamilo api atha akarnya Dutanam Yamakrishnyoho Dharmam Bhagavatam Shuddham Traivedyam Chagunashrayam Bhaktiman Bhagavatyasu Mahatmya Shravanaadharehe Anutapo Mahanasit Smarato Ashubham Atmanaha. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Surambya Madhavi Devi Dasi ji, Hare Krishna Mataji, Danot Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Ajamilopya katha karnyam दूतानां यमकृष्णयोः धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं च गुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवत्याशु महात्म्यश्रवणाद्वरेः अनुतापो महान् आसीत् स्मरतो शुभमात्मनः। हरे कृष्ण।
नरसिंहदास प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण माता प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। अजामिलो अपि अद्य कन्या दूतानां यमकृष्णयो धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं च गुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवत्यासु महात्म्य श्रवणार्धरे अनुतापो महानासीत् स्मरतो अशुभमात्मनः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
थैंक यू। उषा दयावती माता जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अजामिलो अपि अतकर्ण्यां दूतानां यमकृष्णयो धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं च गुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवती आसु महात्म्या श्रवणाधारिः अनुतपो महान् महान आसीत् स्मरतो अशुभम आत्मनः। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू। विजया कुमारी माता जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अजामिलो अदाकर्ण्य दूतानां यमकृष्णायो धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं सगुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवति आसु महात्यस्वरात्तरः अनुदाभो महान् आशिस्मरदो आशुभम आत्मनः। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
यशोमती माता जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अजामिलोऽपि अतकर्ण्य दूतानां यमकृष्णयोः धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं च गुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवदीयाः महात्म्य श्रवणातरेः अनुतापो महानासीत् स्मरतो अशुभम आत्मनः। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
प्राणदंदिनी माधवी माता जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अजामिल अपि अतकन्या दूतानां यमकृष्णयः धर्मं भगवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं च गुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवती आसु महात्म्य श्रवणाद्धरे अनुतापो महान् आसीत् स्मरतु अशुभम आत्मनः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम। अजामिलोऽप्यथा कर्ण्या दूतानां यमकृष्णयोः धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैविध्यं च गुणाश् भक्तिमान् भगवत्याशु माहात्म्यश्रवणाद्वारैः अनुतापो महानासीत् स्मरतो शुभमात्मनः। हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी। चित्रा मोहिनी देवीदास जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अजामिलो अप्यतकर्ण्या दूतानां यमकृष्णयो धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं च गुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवत्याशु माहात्म्यश्रवणाद्धरे अनुतापो महान् आसीत् स्मरतो अशुभम आत्मनः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
थैंक यू। मधुमती विलासिनी देवीदास जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अजामिलो अपि अथ अकर्ण्य दूतानां यमकृष्णय धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं च गुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवत्याशु महात्म्य श्रवणाधरे अनुपातः महानासीत् स्मर्त अशुभ आत्मनः. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Revati Ratnagi Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय अजामिनो अभि अदा कर्ण्या दूतानां यस्य कृष्णयो है धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं सबगुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवती आशु महात्म्या श्रवणात्तरेः अनुतापो महानासी स्मरतो शुभम आत्मनः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you. Uttama Padma Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय अजामिल अपि अत अत आकर्ण्य दूतानां यम कृष्णयोः धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं च गुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवत्याशु महात्मा श्रवणादरे अनुतापो महानासीत् स्मरतो अशुभम आत्मनः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Thank you. Premu Priya Jayashri Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna
हरे
Mataji.
कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम.
Dandot Pranam.
ओम
Welcome.
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय अजामिलो अप्यथा कर्ण्य दूतानां यमकृष्णयो धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैवेद्यं सगुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवत्याशु महात्म्य श्रवणाधरे अनुतापो महानासीत् स्मरतो अशुभम् आत्मनः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Thank you very much. Subbarao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hey Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat
Can you
Pranam.
read the synonyms for us?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Ajamilaha, Ajamila, Api also, Atha, thereafter. Akarnya, hearing. Dyutanam, of the order carriers. Yama Krishnaya of Yamaraja and Lord Krishna, Dharmam, actual religious principles, Bhagavatam, as described in Srimad Bhagavatam, are concerning the relationship between the living being and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Suddham, pure, Traivedyam, mentioned in three Vedas, Cha also, Gunashrayam, material, religion, under the modes of material nature. Bhaktiman, a pure devotee, cleans of the modes of material nature. Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Asu, immediately. Mahatmya, glorification of the name, fame, etc. Shravanat, because of hearing. Hare, of Lord Hari. Anutapaha, regret. Mahan, very great. Asit, there was. Smarataha, remembering. Ashubham, all the inglorious activities. Atmanaha, done by himself. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Subbarao Prabhuji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After hearing the discourses between the Yamdutas and the Vishnudutas, Ajamila could understand the religious principles that act under the three modes of material nature. That's all right, Mataji. Now don't move. Material nature. These principles are mentioned in three Vedas. He could also understand the transcendental religious principles which are above the modes of material nature and which concern the relationship between the living being and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Furthermore, Ajamila heard glorification of the name, fame, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He thus became a perfectly pure devotee. He could then remember his past sinful activities, which he greatly regretted having performed. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In Bhagavad Gita 2.45, Lord Krishna told Arjuna, Traigurnya Vaishya Veda Nistra Gurnyo Bhava
Can I
Arjuna.
recite Prabhu Shloka?
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Traigunya Vishya Veda Nistraigurnyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvando Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga.
Thank you, Mataji.
Traigunya Vishya Veda Nistraigurnyo Bhavarjuna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
It's
Can we scroll a
incomplete.
little bit up, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I'm sorry. Your work is under control. Thank you. The Vedas mainly deal with the subject of three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna. Be transcendental to all of them. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. The Vedic principles certainly prescribe a gradual process for rising to the spiritual platform. But if one remains attached to the Vedic principles, there, there is no chance for being elevated to spiritual life. Krishna therefore advised Arjuna to perform devotional service, which is the process of transcendental religion. The transcendental position of devotional service is also confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6. Anybody would like to recite?
Prabhuji, I'll decide.
Go ahead.
Vaipumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje.
Bhakti, devotional service, is parodharma, transcendental dharma. It is not material dharma. People generally think that the religion should be pursued for the material profit. These may be suitable for persons interested in material life, but one who is interested in spiritual life should be attached to parodharma, the religious principles by which one becomes a devotee of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Yato Bhaktir Adokshaja. The Bhagavad religion teaches that the Lord and the living entities are eternally related, and that the duty of the living entity is to surrender to the Lord. When one is situated on the platform of devotional service, one is freed from impediment and completely satisfied. Having been elevated to that platform, Ajamila began to lament for his past materialistic activities and glorify the name, fame, form, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. If I share my screen, would it be fine now or no?
You want to share, Prabhuji? I'll stop sharing.
I was just thinking, yeah, do that. Let me see. We'll have to sort this out anyway. Somehow or the other. No. Okay, fine. Srila Prabhupada is explaining 2 or 3 things distinctly different here. He is talking about mainly two areas which we all are discussing all the time, the material part and the spiritual part. He's talking about going to a platform, and that could be a material platform and a spiritual platform. And then further elevating it to the life, either the material life or a spiritual life. The Vedas basically are meant for all the subject matter that is within three modes of material nature. So it deals with the subjects concerning with three modes of material nature. And so the religion that we practice for the material life, as we call it, for the four basic gains in the life, that is also known in the Vedic literature. However, if you really want to establish yourself in the spiritual life, then you got to adapt to another religion, not this simple material religion, which is mainly meant for dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. Dharma is a religion, the principles of living life. Artha is the economy, kama is the desires, and moksha is the swarga. These are said to be the four basic gains out of the principles of material religion. When you rise above the three modes of material nature, when you transcend the three modes of material nature, then only the other religion appears. The devotional service or bhakti is the only process by which you can transcend the three modes of material nature. Once you transcend and cross over the material nature and the three modes as well, then you reach a dharma or a parodharma. And this parodharma then can bring you up to the spiritual life. So the Vedas and the Vedic principles that we learn mainly help us in the Karma Kanda area and having the four basic principles of gains in the material life. It can bring you up to the platform of spirituality, but if you want to live a spiritual life, you got to start the bhakti or devotional service. If you do that, then only bhakti or a devotional service will bring you to the spiritual life. So this is the difference, and that is known as parodharma. Parodharma basically is a transcendental religion. So Srila Prabhupada is trying to distinguish between the material religion and the spiritual religion or transcendental religion here. Once you start your transcendental religion or the parodharma, then the spiritual life begins. And then you follow the principles of parodharma, which makes you a devotee. So, abiding by the Vedas and the material religion does not really make one a devotee. One has to begin with the bhakti or devotional services, which is part of the parodharma, that makes you a devotee. And these ultimately leads to further liberation and surrendering to the Lord Himself. If you remain attached to the material religion, then you only expect the material profits. And material profits with the material religion or dharma can only benefit you in the material life. So one has to transcend the three modes of material nature by a devotional service or bhakti. In short, Srila Prabhupada is telling us that we got to move beyond three modes of material nature in the form of bhakti, parodharma, or transcendental religion, whichever name you give. That only can bring you to not only a spiritual platform, but living a spiritual life. And once you begin with your spiritual life, that is where your profit in the spiritual area starts, and that is when actually you get involved into various kinds of liberation or mukti, if at all you desire to. Otherwise, you can go further on the same platform with the same life into Goloka Vrindavan or Vaikuntha, depending on the desire that you have. Srila Prabhupada further also explains how to jump from the material religion into a parodharma or transcendental religion. And there he says that one has to follow the Bhagavat Dharma or Bhagavad Dharma, which basically teaches one the fact that both the Lord and the living entity are eternal. They are eternally part and parcel of each other, and the basic duty of a living entity is to surrender unto the Lord and serve Him. So servitorship is the only ultimate aim of all the living entities. This basically tells us that the religion, so-called religion that we say, which is prescribed and given in the Vedas elaborately, is basically a material religion concerned with dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, the material benefits, and can restrict itself only to the material benefits, and can probably bring you up to a spiritual platform. But if you want to progress further than that, and then you have to start with the devotional service or bhakti. And by way of bhakti, what Srila Prabhupada describes as elevator, you transcend the three modes of material nature. When you are starting this process, that's when you are devotee. And when you actually transcend the three modes of material nature, that it doesn't affect you, you become transcendentalist. So the spiritual life actually begins when you start with your devotional service and will reach when you cross over these material modes and become a transcendentalist. So I think everything is very clear. This jumping process is facilitated by the Bhagavad Dharma. And that's why Bhagavad Dharma gives us the knowledge and removes ignorance or avidya from us. Any question, any doubts, any revelation, any addition, any commentary? If there is none, we'll take 5 more minutes and describe you something which I learned recently. The characteristic of Srimad Bhagavatam. There are mainly 4 areas of the characteristic of Srimad Bhagavatam that we are reading every day. One is authenticity, second is procedure to hear.
Prabhuji, can you share the slide of that characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yeah, I have it unfortunately, but I don't know how to. Anyway, let me just see. And then there are 4 types of speakers and the listeners. Some other time we'll talk about the authenticity and the procedures to it. Here, I have described, probably I can share it. Let me see. Yeah, okay, I got it. Lovely. At one stage earlier, I did describe about the can everyone see this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Good. So these are the 3 principles I did describe earlier about the Shravanam part of it. And I'm going a little deep into it. How to hear, that was described at that time. I think I showed these slides only. And the importance of Shravanam. So it is said that there are 2 types of people who listen to Srimad Bhagavatam. One is the superior type and one is inferior type. Our aim should be to become the superior type because they grasp Srimad Bhagavatam very well. There are 4 examples given to describe these superior types, and they are the names of the birds. Chatak, you know Chatak, swan, parrot, and fish. Chatak is a bird who always stays in the sky and always drinks water directly from the cloud. He doesn't come on the earth to drink the water. And so there are Krishna Bhaktas who hear Srimad Bhagavatam, only hear the Krishna Katha or Krishna's pastimes. So one should become like that. That's a pure devotee. Swan is the one who can extract the milk from a mixture of water and milk. So the listener who does listen to everything else as well, but characteristically distinguishes and takes only Krishna Katha out of all the jumble. Parrot is a listener who keeps on reciting and repeating whatever his guru says. These are degrading from one to another. And lastly is the fish. Is an example where fish can be in a condensed milk ocean and still it never blinks the eye. So that's the apt listener. So one has to be one of these listeners in Srimad Bhagavatam to succeed in completing Srimad Bhagavatam, understanding the meaning of the message that is being conveyed, and then putting that message into the practice and life. The inferior listeners are those listeners who never succeed well. And there are 4 examples. The Vrunda bird, the bull, the camel, and the wolf. Vrunda bird is something that he tells everything but doesn't practice. This is like a preacher who preaches but never practices. There was a beautiful song of Beatles, Papa Don't Preach. So unless you practice, there is no sense in preaching. Bulls never distinguish between the sweet grapes or a pungent cake. So there are many listeners who hardly differentiate between Krishna Katha and the rest of the jumble that comes along, keeps listening everything with the same attention. And the third listener is a camel. Camel, when you give him mango leaves, he doesn't like it, but he loves the betel nut leaves. And wolf always cries, and the cry itself can produce threatening effect on many human beings and children. So these are the 4 kinds of good listeners and bad listeners. We got to understand and learn to be good listeners, either like Chatak, like Swan, like Parrot, or like a fish. Any question, any doubts, any addition, any commentary? If there is none, Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya vacha patita nama bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Koti Vaishnav ki jai. Hare Krishna to everyone. Thank you very much for
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one question, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
You gave example of bad listeners, this camel and wolf.
Yeah.
These 2, and any other this thing example you gave?
There are 4 animals: Vrunda, bull, camel, and wolf.
First 2, what is that? I couldn't hear.
Vrunda.
Vrunda
Vrunda is an animal found in jungles. I don't know much about that animal anyway, but it says that it keeps on talking a lot and never practices anything. So this is like a preacher who keeps preaching but never practices.
Spelling, Prabhuji?
Vrinda. It is like Vrinda, but it is pronounced as Vrunda.
Okay. Camel, wolf, Vrunda.
Camel is in the camel is where it's again a bad listener, where he doesn't like the mango leaves, but loves the betel nut leaves. Means it takes bad things easily, doesn't like good things. Listeners basically look at the concept that listeners always take the best out of whatever is existing. And that's where Chatak, parrots, the swan comes in, or the fish, keeps the eye without blinking. Whereas the bad listeners are those who keep listening everything that comes along, doesn't distinguish, doesn't differentiate, and doesn't give importance only to Krishna. So the basic principle, if you would ask me, I've prepared a slide. Unfortunately, I don't have it here. I'll maybe put it in the group. The basic principle is one must have ears. They are only trained to to listen to the Krishna and Krishna's pastimes. That only will be able to grasp only the Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam easily and to complete the whole Bhagavatam cantos. If you are not an apt listener and distinguisher, then you will get lost in the other kathas that come in, which are actually meant for you to read, force into Krishna katha listening. But that doesn't happen. Then you end up probably listening the Krishna katha same as Ajamila's katha and probably give more importance to the Ajamila or his sins that he has done. Ultimately, it is the intelligence which has to select. The selection should be strong and powerful for the Krishna Katha and all the pastimes of Krishna.
Prabhuji, can you just once more explain that fish as a good example of good listener? Fish example you gave.
Fish, yeah.
How it is?
Fish, even if you put a fish in an ocean of condensed milk, which is quite a thick milk, fish will never blink an eye. It always keeps the eye open. And the good listener, even if he's surrounded by all nonsense, he still picks up even a one word of Krishna is spoken immediately out of that rubbish bundle that is around. Am I making myself clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, now I understood, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mother.
Hare Krishna.
So much of
Hare Krishna,
yes,
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So when I used to take communication skill classes to the engineering students, so I used to refer to this also. Like mostly, I shouldn't say this actually. It is a reference that Indians do. They just assume things. They don't listen fully.
Yeah.
They don't listen fully. So they just assume things. So like for instance, if it's in any factory, this is a reference with the factory like Hyundai, when the Koreans came over here, no, the reference is given as how your listening skill affects because of your assumptions. It falls under inferior or superior, Prabhuji? Inferior only, no?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
In fact, Mataji, if you look at it, it's quite a common tendency amongst Indians that when they are listening to a lecture, they listen superficially, thinking that they would read and compensate.
Yeah, very true.
And that's how the listening is not very apt and very strong. Whereas you look at the other people, I had been involved in teaching the African students, and those medical students listen to your each and every word so aptly that sometimes their question really surprise you. You feel that you probably never thought about those type of questions at all. So it's very true. We Indians have a habit of thinking that fine, let him tell. If I understand, that's okay. Otherwise, when I read it, I'll compensate and understand very well.
Yeah. That false ego is more.
Yes. Rather, we have more strong faith in our labor, our own labor.
Yes.
And someone who just serves you ready-made, but doesn't want to take, one doesn't take it. Right.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much to all of you. Hare Krishna to all of you. Have a wonderful Sunday. Hare Krishna.
Today, Namneshwar Das Prabhuji's birthday.
Oh, today?
Yeah, today, 29th.
Well, we all wish him. Shall we?
Yes.
Say Harinam
Yes.
once?
Yeah.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Hare.
All wish to Navadita Das Prabhuji
Prabhuji, long life.
the very best. And he is the one who
Yes.
has brought all of us together, taught us how to understand, made us learn, and reach whatever stage we have reached. We all are with lots of gratitude to Navadita Das
Yes.
Prabhuji. We are eternally
And
grateful. Hare Krishna.
making us preachers, that is the main thing which we never thought when we in our life. I never thought that I would become a preacher. All along I've been with the colleges and this,
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true. He has so much of faith in us that it is surprising. Probably
Yeah.
we might not have faith as much as he has in us.
Yes, true. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna to all of you.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you, Prabhuji.